heavy downpour cascades down hillsides, while many parts in the city are flooded amid the first black rainstorm warning of the year. In Beijing, rescue efforts are ongoing in the aftermath of the days-long rainstorm. And the extreme weather fails to dampen anime fans' passion to show off their costumes on the closing day of the anime fair. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Evelyn Bai. The observatory issued its first black rainstorm warning signal of the year this morning, lasting about 2 hours. Roads turned into rivers and slopes became waterfalls as heavy rain swept through the city, particularly the eastern and southern districts. Hong Kongers are reminded to brace for more showers and squally thunderstorms tomorrow. Xiaorin reports.
Hong Kong's eastern district bore the brunt of the storm once again. In Shao Kei Wan, Yu Hing Road transformed into a cascading waterfall, echoing the once-in-a-century rainstorm from 2 years ago, which triggered a severe landslide. But the retaining wall managed to withstand the storm this time round. Over in the roundabout on Chai Wan Road, widespread flooding stalled vehicles, with water levels rising to cover half of car tires. An underground car park in Chai Wan also fell victim to the downpour, flooded with rainwater up to knee length. A broad trough of low pressure triggered heavy showers and thunderstorms citywide this morning. The Drainage Services Department sent pumping robots to flooded areas to drain water from the roads. The observatory raised the amber rainstorm signal at 8 a.m., escalating it to red just 30 minutes later. By 9:10 a.m., the black rainstorm warning signal was issued as rainfall in eastern and southern districts surpassed 100 millimeters per hour. The rapid shift in signals caught many commuters off guard during the morning rush, while the Education Bureau announced the suspension of all afternoon classes. The weather forecaster prompted Hong Kongers to stay alert to more unstable weather ahead. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Under the adverse weather, the Security Bureau has activated the Emergency Center to coordinate responses. Security Chief Chris Tang posted photos on social media showing him at the Emergency Monitoring and Support Center to monitor and coordinate the efforts of various emergency and support services under the black rainstorm warning. In response to the previous 2 typhoons, Chief Secretary Eric Chan had chaired meetings of the steering committee on handling extreme weather for advanced preparations, but not this time. Meanwhile, Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs Alex Mack said the severe weather this morning occurred suddenly, while the care teams were standing by and temporary shelters were opened for people in need. The observatory admitted that it is difficult to precisely predict the extent and affected areas of rainstorms.
As the development of rainstorm was very fast and there was randomness in the development, even with the latest technology, there is still limitation to precisely predict the exact location and time of torrential rain.
Separately, the heavy rain cloud cluster has moved beyond Beijing. However, a week of heavy rainfall has left at least 30 people dead and led to evacuations of over 80,000 residents. Among the fatalities, 28 were reported in the suburban district of Miyun, 2 were in Yanqing. In the latest round of heavy downpours, Beijing recorded an average precipitation of 165.9 millimeters, with the highest recorded in Miyun at 543.4 millimeters, while Huairou experienced a peak intensity. Emergency recovery efforts are on the way. Local authorities have intensified their work to repair damaged roads and riverbanks. using nearly 10,000 cubic meters of gravel and stones to mitigate the impact of water flow on embankments. The outflow of the Meiyuan Reservoir has been increased to 1,120 cubic meters per second this morning. In Liulimao town of Huairou, firefighters deployed drones to deliver relief supplies, including water and food, to trapped villagers. Residents in the Fengjiayu township of Meiyuan were relocated to a temporary settlement, receiving water and cup noodles. This Yanqing resident, who was relocated to a settlement, expressed satisfaction, saying that living supplies are all complete in the unit, including an air conditioner, a TV, and water. The National Development and Reform Commission has urgently allocated 200 million yuan to support emergency recovery and reconstruction efforts in response to the flooding. Late on Monday, President Xi Jinping emphasized the need for all-out search and rescue efforts, urging the swift relocation of at-risk populations to minimize casualties. Back to Hong Kong. Under the downpour this morning, a fire broke out in the electricity meter room of Yan On Mansion, an old residential complex in Kwun Tong, causing a power outage. Restoration work is expected to take about 2 days, leaving some of the residents, the second batch of victims, suffering from a power outage at decade-old buildings within a week. Bess Leung reports.
The electrical meter room was severely blackened by smoke after the fire, with some wires severed. The building was suspected to have suffered water leakage from the ceiling due to torrential rain, causing a short circuit in the electric meter room and triggering the fire. About 99 households in half of the building experienced a power outage, including ground floor shops and upper floor units. Maintenance personnel are conducting emergency repairs, and members of the care team distributed food and water to residents. The shop owner was frustrated about the suspension of business, which is expected to cause a significant loss as the cooked food and the tea would be wasted. Moreover, her staff had to return home after coming back. This resident said it was terrible that the air conditioner in the bedroom could not work, adding that maintenance staff told them it is going to take a longer while to get the power supply restored, and she had no idea where to stay tonight. The Kwun Tong district office estimated it will take approximately 2 days to restore the power supply, offering assistance to residents and referring them to a nearby temporary shelter. Bess Leung, Cable News.
As for Yifeng Mansions in To Kwa Wan, which has been affected by power outages since last Saturday, emergency repair works has been underway during the day to have the power supply restored as soon as possible. Home Affairs Secretary Alex Mack slammed the property management company, warning disciplinary actions may be taken if the company is found to be negligent in their duties. Mack said the property manager failed to precisely inform residents of its plan to assist the owner's cooperation in carrying out repair works and restoring power supply as soon as possible. The minister noted property managers had guidelines to follow, outlining how to respond during emergencies. Meanwhile, the residential complex has multiple drainage repair orders that remain unfulfilled to this day. Mack emphasized that the responsibility for maintenance and management lies squarely with the property owners. Otherwise, in the event of an incident, they will not only face legal liability, but also bear the resulting losses. Heavy downpours did not deter anime fans from donning their favorite character costumes on the final day of the annual anime fair, but exhibitors reported a dip in sales compared to last year. Xu Ren tells us more.
Undaunted by the morning's relentless rain, eager cosplayers and comic book enthusiasts flocked to the fair early in the day. One dedicated cosplayer, lugging a suitcase full of gear, braved the downpour to reach the venue, shrugging off the inconvenience of traveling in such weather. As the rain cleared in the afternoon, even more fans poured in, bringing to life a variety of characters from their favorite shows. While some fans were busy rocking their favorite character costumes and showing off their accessories, others snapped photos and hunted for last-minute deals. To move inventory, exhibitors slashed prices, offering steep discounts to attract budget-conscious attendees. But despite their efforts, sales fell short of last year's figures. One vendor observed that visitors seemed more hesitant to spend, pointing to a sluggish economy and unpredictable weather as key factors. This year's fair was the largest in scale yet, boasting a record 160 exhibitors and over 788 booths, making the event a spectacle despite the challenges. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The latest round of Chinese-US trade talks in Sweden is yet to yield breakthrough. Discussions resume today, aiming to extend the tariff truce by 3 months. Anna Chen has the story.
Delegations led by Vice Premier He Lifeng and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent continued talks for a second day at the Swedish Prime Minister's office in central Stockholm. The meeting yesterday lasted about 5 hours. No details were released from either side. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer has said he did not expect some kind of enormous breakthrough on the first day of talks. Washington and Beijing reached a 90-day truce at a May meeting in Geneva, then put it back from the brink of collapse with further talks in London in June. The Stockholm talks seek to extend the truce by 3 months as the August 12th deadline nears, to prevent tariffs snapping back to 145% on the U.S. side and 125% on the Chinese side. Trade analysts said the extension is likely, which would facilitate planning for a potential summit between U.S. and Chinese leaders in late October or early November. The Financial Times reported that the U.S. had paused curbs on tech exports to China to avoid disrupting trade talks with Beijing. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump touched on the talks in Scotland, saying China is tough and he would love to see China open up their country. Anna Chen, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the stock markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 37 points. Top ATIC stocks of the day. Tencent was down 50 cents. Checkathon was down 4 cents. Alibaba was up 10 cents. Guotai Junan was up 2 cents. On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with occasional showers and a few squally thunderstorms. Showers will be heavier in some areas tomorrow morning. Temperatures will range between 27 and 31 degrees. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Evelyn Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.